fellow carbon-based bipeds. I am Scott Rose, and you are watching Explosions and Stuff. Today, I'll be reviewing the 1991 film Quiet Fire, starring Lawrence Hilton-Jacobs, Nadia Marie, Lance Lindsay, and Robert Zadar. But first, a word from our sponsors. Overview of the movie. Owner of an LA gym and Vietnam vet, Jesse Palmer has a normal life until one of his old friends shows up and dies in his office. Now Jesse's life is thrown into chaos as he must avoid hitmen trying to take him out as well for reasons he doesn't know. It'll take all of his skills for Jesse to survive in this urban jungle. The pros of this movie? Well, first of all, the action in this movie started right away. I know I say that very, very often, but that's very important because the first 10 to 15 minutes of a movie really set the tone for how the rest of the movie is going to be. With this movie, the first scene in the movie is a car chase / gunfight. So that tells you, and at least tells me, that this is going to be an action-packed thrill ride of a movie. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be filled with action, and I'm not going to be able to take my eyes from it. So it's a really good thing that the first scene of the movie, that the action in this movie started right away with the very first scene. Also, I really like the fact that Jesse Palmer is a reluctant hero. You know, he's not like, I'm this action hero man. I shall do what I have to do, and I shall choose to be the hero. No! He didn't choose to be a hero at all. He was just some guy who got put in a bad spot, and now people are trying to kill him, so he has to survive. He doesn't want to be a hero. He just wants to live his life as normally. But he has to do these things. He has to fight these evil people, these bad guys who are trying to kill him, because he needs to stay alive. He doesn't have a choice. And I really, really like that about this movie. One of my favorite things about this movie, though, which is going to seem kind of weird, is that it is a product of its time. And by that I mean, I enjoy watching movies that are products of their time because it's like looking at a time capsule. You get to see, how people really dressed at the time, what the fashion was, how they spoke. With timeless movies, everything carries over. It's all the same. You don't have a lot of slang. You don't have a lot of fashionable clothes and cool outfits and awesome cars. But in these movies that are products of their time, it's all about looking cool at the moment. So you get to see what was cool in this particular movie in 1991. And at that point, I was in the first grade, so I didn't really know what was cool. So it's nice to look back at this stuff and see what was fashionable, what was in style, and things like that. It was nice to see that, and it's nice to kind of see what the past is like and get a realistic view of it that you get from these movies that are products of their time, and that's why I enjoyed that part of it. The cons of this movie? Well, it was a product of its time. I mean, yeah, I know I just said that's a good thing to me, but at the same time, there's a lot of references people won't get, pop culture stuff. Again, different slang that people won't know what it means. It'll seem weird and just odd. And, here's this event that in the movie happened 5 years ago, but now, this is 30 years ago. There's people who are alive now who had no idea what this was. People who can legally drink have no idea what this was, or they didn't have young people who were Vietnam vets that they knew. So it's very much the fact that it is a product of its time really does kind of limit its appeal and limit the translatability, even though that's not a word, but its ability to translate into modern times. Movies like Lethal Weapon are timeless because it's very basic things that you can understand. Yeah, the fashion didn't age well, the cars didn't age well, but you can understand what's going on. Whereas a movie like this, it is very much time sensitive. Also, this movie has stiff acting. Let's be realistic here. Most of the people in this movie don't have more than 3 or 4 IMDb credits to their name. Some of them have more, like Lawrence Hilton-Jacobs and Robert Zadar. They've got a laundry list of work that they've done. But pretty much everyone else topped out at about 4 films. So not a lot of work from all these people. So not a lot of talented acting at all. I mean, wow. The acting in this movie was not good. It was all very subpar. To kind of tie into that, not only was the love interest in this movie poorly acted, but she was also just horribly written. And to the point, I mean, like, at one point, when all these bad guys were trying to kill the hero guy and love interest, she was sitting there complaining. He's like, "You don't pay enough attention to me anymore." It's like, he's trying to keep her alive. He's trying to keep people from killing them. I'm sorry, but he doesn't have time to pamper you and buy you nice jewelry and take you to fancy dinners and stuff. He doesn't have time to worry about your feelings. He's trying to keep you from dying. People are trying to kill the two of you, and he's trying to keep you alive. She was just a horrible character, the worst character I've ever seen in so long, just the most selfish and just horrible love interest I've ever seen in a movie, and I wanted her to die. I have never before wanted a love interest to die in a movie. I couldn't wait. I was so hoping she would die. I'm not going to say if she did or if she didn't, but I really, really was hoping and praying for her death. I would have, if she would have died, if she had died, I'm not going to say if she did or not, but if she had or if she would have, oh, that would have been the best part of the movie to me. But the worst thing about this movie, in my opinion, was the pacing. And I know, as I said, the action started right away in the movie, and it did. The first scene of the movie was this epic car chase and gun battle. That was the first scene, and the next action scene of the movie was maybe like, 20 to 30 minutes later. And this is an hour and a half long movie. There was just too much standalone talking time throughout the movie, and the action scenes it did have were poorly shot. I mean, they were poorly directed. It's just, the pacing in this movie, it really needed to be trimmed down and just done better. I don't really know how to explain it. Like, I watched this movie the other night, and I'm reviewing it now, and it's just, the pacing of the movie was off to the point where I can hardly remember what happened in some of the scenes. It was just a lot of sitting around and talking. My overall thoughts on the movie? I have mixed feelings about this movie, but I'm going to give it 1 thumb down. It's got a tried and true story, and it does some things really well. At the same time, it does quite a few things really poorly. Quiet Fire had a lot of potential. It just needed more talented people to pull it off. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like it and subscribe to my channel for new action movie reviews posted every week and top 10 lists posted on the 10th of every month. Also, if you have any recommendations for things you would like me to cover in the future, please leave them in the comments below and follow us on Twitter at explosions_TV. Thank you and have a nice day.